So these are 5 things you should do if you're just starting a CS degree and have never programmed before. So who am I? I am a student at the University of California, Berkeley. I am currently studying computer science. And before studying computer science at Berkeley, I had no prior experience with programming or any STEM related field in general. I mostly studied subjects related to commerce, economics, business. So I know how it feels to transition from a non-STEM background to a very, very technical background. And that's why I made this video. So my first tip is to practice. So what do I mean by that? Practice can be of two kinds. You can either do loose practice, which is basically the practice when you sort of have a free flow of work and there is no structure that you're supposed to follow. So projects, working with others on ideas, so far and so forth. Then the other kind of practice is structured practice. Now, structured practice is something you get from books, the courses you complete at your college, and even online tutorials, they also constitute as structured practice. Now, what I recommend is to do a good mix of both. At the end of the day, the practice you get from your loose practice or, by following your passions is something that will help you discover what you actually like. And since there are so many subfields in computer science, it's a very important thing that you make sure that you know what you want. And you're not floating around and trying to figure out what you want. And everyone in their fourth year has already realized, okay, they want to do this. Now, the reason you should probably do a lot of structured practice as well is that when you follow a certain structure, it is generally much more effective at making you good at that thing than something like, following your own sort of structure or a loose structure. And there are so many books, courses, and you can even, a lot of colleges like MIT have their courses online, even the ones that, their students are taking. So for example, there's a distributed systems course from MIT and it's for the graduate students, but you can actually go to their website and look at the videos and lecture notes and labs and everything. So my second tip is to explore other resources. Now, what do I mean by that? Exploring other resources basically means is going outside on the internet, trying out or, looking into the things other people are doing. So, projects on GitHub, very popular projects, open source projects, React, all of this. Go there, look at the issues people are raising, look at the requests people are making, look at the code people are contributing, and try to see if you can understand what they're doing. And this will give you a very good experience of what it is to work in a real world environment. It will also help you develop a more mature understanding of what good code looks like. But in some cases, it can also do the opposite because a lot of open source code is, well, not good. So take this thing with a grain of salt. It's mainly meant to make sure that you find something that you like and try to pursue it further. My third tip is to start early. When you're coming from a non-technical background, the biggest disadvantage you have is time actually. And people that have been doing this for, 2-3 years have a decent amount of time above you. But since a lot of people doing, computer science before college are doing it at a much lower level in terms of skill than you would be doing after or during college, the gap isn't that big actually. You can very easily catch up with a lot of people just by putting in a few extra months or weeks before your classes start. So this is something I did in my second semester when I actually decided to take computer science courses. I basically looked through the website for my class for that semester and I tried to do all of the lectures, try to go through them, try to go through the labs, try to even follow other classes, so that you have a decent idea about what you're trying to get into. So my fourth tip is to do other things. Now, what do I mean by that? By doing other things, I mean that as computer science students, we can very easily just get caught up in the world of tech. And you can actually spend your entire life just doing this. But I recommend you explore other things, whatever catches your interest. It makes a lot of sense because just like you're supposed to take rest between exercises at the gym, you should take rest while, using your brain on computer science. You should maybe put it somewhere else. Maybe you can, explore drawing. For example, me, I really like manga. So I love reading One Piece. Every time a new chapter comes out, I go crazy. My fifth tip is to not get too comfortable. Once you've, had a decent idea of how something works, it's very easy to not do anything else and just keep on focusing on that thing. But in computer science and tech in general, the world is so fast paced and there's something new every day, something you don't know, and that can feel a little bit overwhelming. So it's really good to, always push yourself. Try to learn something new. Don't stay in the same spot. For example, if you really like web development, I know a lot of people that learn web development, the classic, the MERN stack or, some stack. And all they do is try to experiment with that stack, and they don't move out of their comfort zone. You wouldn't find someone like that trying to learn Rust the next month, or Golang, or trying to learn distributed systems or ML even, because you feel very comfortable in that space and it makes you feel like you're good at that, so it empowers you. But it's very important to push yourself in that sense as well, so that when the day comes that there's something new in that space and the space that you worked on is now dead, you're ready.